Hello. Yeah, as you saw, Dad was just giving a bit of a lowdown. But right, raise your hand, everyone here, if you keep making the same choices and you keep getting the same results. That's keep making the same choices and getting the same results. There's a lot of hands up there, so we are speaking to the right people today, which is great. So let me take you back to the start of my journey, I suppose, in Boydens. I came back to the family firm 10 years ago, and my granddad, as Dawn just said, set up the business in 1966, which is 58 years ago. When I came back 10 years ago, picture an estate agency that is from that era. It had moved with the times, but picture swirly carpets on the floor, mahogany kind of walls on the sides of all the offices. We were very well established. Dad had been in the business for 40 years, had really grown the business into what it was then and what it is today. He's done some remarkable things over the time, but we had kind of started to become a little bit stale, I suppose, and we weren't moving in the right direction, were we, Paul?
No,
we were kind of. There's a great analogy
static
of a hamster on that treadwheel, just absolutely going for it. Really trying to move forwards, but not actually getting anywhere further forwards. We were a firm that did sales and we did lettings. Especially on that letting side, we'd charge a percentage and we'd do everything for that percentage.
Yeah.
Routine inspections, check-ins, check-outs, inventories. The landlord wants their dog picking up from the groomers. We're going to do it because we do not want to lose those landlords because they pay the bills. And then within that, with the treadmill analogy, we thought, right, what do we need to do? We need to do more sales, don't we? We need to do more sales and more lets. So we'd run around all month, all year, trying to do more sales and more lets. And what do you need to do? More sales and more lets?
Yeah. More staff.
More staff. So you collect more and more staff to do these things. And then you sit down, end of the month, and you go, we've got the same amount of profit margin that we've always had. Yeah. So we're doing more sales and more lets, but it's not actually gaining any traction on that front. So I think it was one very rainy, cloudy, overcast winter's evening. We were sat down in the office, and we realised we were comfortable. We were comfortable, and another line for everyone just to note down. I don't know who's spoken to you over the last couple of days, but there's a great line that has come to me over the last year, and that is comfort, which we were, and the fear of change is the greatest enemies of success. So that's comfort and the fear of change are the greatest enemies of success. Does that make sense to anybody? Yeah, because that's where we were. We were comfortable, but we did have a fear of change. And I also had a personal fear of change. Third generation of the estate agents. We've actually been going since the 1860s as builders in North Essex as well, but the war happened, so that's another story. So I had a personal fear of stepping up. I was born into this. I went off to university, learnt some bits and bobs on the surveying side of things, went up north, did a couple of years up north, but then I came back and I was like, what have I done to earn this, So there was a real nagging of doubt in there as to whether I could actually take on that legacy that Dad has created and that great business onto new pastures and great things moving forwards. Luckily, over the 10 years I've been back, Paul here joined us probably eight years ago now, Paul, is it?
8 years ago.
8 years ago, and we certainly have moved with the times. Even before we met Agent Rainmaker a year ago, we have certainly moved with the times. The swirly carpets are gone. We got through the tenant fee ban.
Yep. No mahogany.
Yeah, no more mahogany. Nicer offices. So we certainly have moved forwards, but this time last year, we were just missing that extra boost. We were comfortable.
Yeah.
We were comfortable. So I'm going to pass it over to Paul now to talk a little bit more about how the journey with Agent Rainmaker came along. And I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Cheers, Phil.
That's all right.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to take you back to early 2023. Unlike today, cold, dark, dank, miserable, wet day. And specifically in our head office in Colchester. So you try and picture a big office. We've got staff members buzzing around, busy doing business like bees in a hive. And then over in one corner, we have a big stack of leaflets.
Old stack, lovely big stack. Lovely big stack.
Senior management very excited. Look at all these lovely leaflets we're going to deliver and make a load of money. And then we have our red-faced, stressed out managers desperately trying to get eye contact with the negotiators whose heads were down thinking, I don't want to go out and deliver these leaflets, please don't select me. Well, that was us. That was us a little over a year ago. And that was us before we generated an additional £444,000 to our business. But we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. As a business, we excelled at embracing the old ways. We would do the same thing time and time again. And Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. It'd be interesting to see if hands up, if everybody feels the same. Are you doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result? Yeah, exactly. It's not uncommon for the industry. So that's where we were. And, leaflets were our comfort zone. We need to do more sales. What are we going to do?
Yep.
We'll get more leaflets.
Yeah.
We need to do more lettings. What are we going to do? Let's get more leaflets.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. We didn't generate any more income. So there needed to be a change. And that's when I decided, actually, we need to change this very deep-seated culture within a very long-standing business. And that was no easy task, because we was changing both the culture of the business, but the culture of the staff as well. And I think it's fair to say, I may have not been the most popular person trying to enforce change at that time. There was talk of Paul Buck voodoo dolls.
Yep. I think there might even be some still knocking about, to be honest, Paul, to be fair. But yeah.
We needed to make that change. So I started a process of business optimization. We did some few tweaks. We did some bits and pieces here and there. Like Phil made reference to earlier, we find ourselves sitting down, didn't we, at the end of the month. We're looking at the figures. And we're like, we're just not doing enough. Why are we not doing enough?
And it certainly wasn't a fault of trying, was it?
No,
people were trying.
No,
they were. There was a. Well, yeah, we were certainly trying. Yeah.
We had the brand, we had the branches.
Yep.
We had experienced, knowledgeable, very loyal staff members.
Yeah. But had the history.
Yeah. But we just weren't making enough. So. We decided that we needed to make a change, and it struck me, hang on a second, are we looking at this the wrong way? And it struck me that we needed to make a change at the top. We need to change at the senior management team. So we all sat round the table, and we decided what we were going to do. And I think we were all in agreement. We've kind of exhausted what we could do internally, and we needed help externally.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Now, I was aware of Sally for her time with Arla. I was aware of Agent Rainmaker. And I too had seen the generate additional £100,000 revenue in your business. And we dismissed it, didn't we?
What a load. What a load of...
No. We can do better than that. But we needed to reach out. So we reached out. And the net result of that was Phil and I, we went on a one-day business optimization course.
Yep.
And at the end of that course, we did a review of our property management income, didn't we? And that generated an additional £40,000. Just that one review, that £40,000. And that's when we thought, oh, hang on, there's something here.
Yep.
So that's when we spoke to David Boyden, owner and MD of the business, said, David, you need to go in this course because you need to understand what we need to do. We need to be aligned as a senior management team. So off he went. And then when you finished the course, you phoned us up and said, boys, there's something there. We need to meet. So we sat around the table again, and I pitched to them, it's like the three of us, we need to go to this boot camp. We need to go to Agent Rainmaker boot camp. If we can generate an additional 40,000 on a one-day course, what can we do on a week-long boot camp? So we did. We got Becky, the accountant, to book the hotel.
Book us in.
A lovely hotel up in Telford. And we went. And we arrived the day before. Me, somewhat drowsy after a 5.5-hour journey due to multiple charging of my electric car.
It's the future, Paul.
Yeah. You're a little bit faster with Porsche power. But you're actually having your dinner when I got there. But we got there, we sat in the bar, and I remember thinking, Christ, what's this going to be? Is this going to be death by PowerPoint? We put a lot of money into this. We need to generate some money. So we're all a little bit anxious. The morning of the course, we got up early. We went into the networking room, didn't we? And we were surrounded by other lettings and estate agents. And that to us was very alien.
I think the thought before we went, the idea of spending 4 days with other letting agents was a horrendous idea because of, every town, you don't get on with the letting agents around you. You work. You
keep them at arm's
keep them at bay because you want to be a step forwards. But this was
and
amazing.
We certainly don't discuss business strategies with them. But we found that it was comfortable. We were discussing business strategies because there are other agencies out there that were similar to us, that were struggling, that we were. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, we're not alone. There is a way forward. So we go in the room. And we're greeted with high fives. And it's like, oh, hello. And the music's going. And we got Tozen there doing the African dance, trying to open our minds because we're all guilty. And again, this would be interesting to see a show of hands. We're all guilty of tunnel vision. How many of us go, we can't do this because of this. We can't do this because of our landlords would run away if we ever did something like that. And that's what it's like. That's not uncommon. So we settled down. And at the end of day one, we sat in the bar, and we're looking at our notepads, and we've got a ton of notes, and we're thinking, Christ, what more can we learn? Surely we've covered it all in day one. But the point that I remember was specifically on day two. The afternoon of day two, Sally tasked us to generate a 4-year growth plan, didn't she? And we put pen to paper, and it still amazes me now, and we drafted out that we could generate an additional £2.4 million. So that's an additional £2.4 million in revenue over the term of 4 years.
And we weren't being silly.
No, this was completely realistic. And we could do this easily. This was us embracing the strategies that we'd learned on the boot camp. This was us embracing the confidence to push our business forward. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass you back to Phil. Phil's going to talk to you a little bit about what it is that we did when we went back to the offices and what strategies we employed to help us generate the additional £444,000.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you. Yeah, no, it really was an amazing experience and a real eye-opener for ourselves to think, crikey, we've got so much potential here, thinking that 4 days previous, we didn't have any of this. It was more sales, more lets. But anyway, so we got back to the office, and first of all, what we did is we wrote a to-do list. Basically, the low-hanging fruits, really, the nice, easy things to get started with. So as a senior management team, we sat down and put together a list of what we'd do over the next kind of 6 to 12 months. Kind of in stages, because you can't throw everything all at one point. One massive thing that we did do was we worked out how much we needed to make on an hourly basis. And then within this, we worked out what fees we'd obviously need to charge to manage kind of properties. And it was a really kind of humbling experience to go to a landlord and say, look, you need to pay us X amount, otherwise we're not going to be your managing agent. And we actually lost some landlords. And I know it sounds very weird to say, but actually losing those landlords freed us up with our time to concentrate on landlords that knew our worth and actually wanted to work with us on that front. So that was a real big step forwards, I must admit, wasn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
And we've got kind of 45 members of staff. So even to this day now, kind of, 9 months after that boot camp, we still haven't taken them all through the process. But we've certainly got their minds moving forwards, and it's not a quick, easy thing to do. It's kind of, people's minds, and, we've got members of staff that have been with us 20, 25 years, long time, and they don't like change. We didn't like change. So, staff can be a real kind of...
it's a slow burn, isn't it?
Yeah, and even this week, actually, we're looking at running mini boot camps to our managers and staff members to bring them on the journey. So we're on this journey with everyone here as well. We haven't completed it by no means. I will just quickly touch on, I think Steve actually had a chat with you guys this morning, which is funnels. I'm not going to explain to you guys what funnel is. The AR guys will do a far, far, far better job than me on that. But if I was just to dangle a nugget, I suppose, and say that with £1,000 of advertising put in, we are now seeing £81,000 of future revenue out of this funnel. So that is a real area that we're seeing that we're going to grow the business, because a lot of what we've done so far is streamline and also add savings to the business. But funnels and also acquisitions are a real area that we are looking to grow the business up to that £2.4 million that we had. But it's amazing that we have got to that 444,000 of additional revenue now. It's a real achievement over the last 12 months. And as a company, I feel that the most thing that we've learned is that when you get to a wall, we used to just stop at that wall. And we'd double back and we'd go round the corner and then kind of end up over here somewhere. But now we've learned that when you hit that wall, you've got to get over it, under it, around it, or through it before it kind of reinforces and grows too much. I love the analogy of actually using that wall, the bricks in that wall, to take them down piece by piece and actually lay them in front of you along the footpath to lead you to the goal where you want to be. In terms of a wall, it can be in all sorts of situations, but actually I find that our biggest wall in some respects has been staff members and stuff like that. But once you take them or take yourselves on that journey, it's amazing the ideas that they come up with.
100%,
It's brilliant to have these 45 members of staff with us now on this journey, coming up with different ideas. Oh, we could do this, we could do that. So use that wall to grow your business further. So as a firm, we're far more modern, far more, looking forwards, aren't we? Progressive. Like it, Paul. Good word. But that's as a business. And then you've got, back earlier, I was saying about, as a personal level, about the legacy taking on from Dad. And without Agent Rainmaker, I certainly wouldn't be here on this stage. The process that we've gone through in 12 months, both as a business but myself personally for the business, is incredible. Dad is now looking, or is becoming a chairman, taking up a chairman role in September this year. I'm stepping up to be kind of MD, which is absolutely incredible. It's so exciting. And the thought of that last year was petrifying, to be fair. So, as Paul said earlier, as Einstein said earlier.
You can refer to me as Einstein.
Is insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So, all you guys at home, I'd just say, embrace the change. Feel the fear, like I did, and do it anyway. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Woo!